Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. This is Hydro and this is the latest demo build that I thought I'd make another video on today just to showcase some of the latest features that I've been putting into the game. And I've been working fairly busily over the past few weeks just implementing as many features and bug fixes and optimizations as I can. The game has officially been in playtesting phase now for about 2 weeks, and if any of the playtesters are watching, thank you so much for your support and feedback so far. It's been really helpful. One of the big things I've been focused on lately is performance, and being an Unreal Engine game and Unreal Engine 5 at that, one of the things that I've really been focusing on is just making sure that it can run on as wide of a range of computer hardware out there as possible. And to that end, I've exposed more options in the options menu for graphics, so you can tune the game, the quality settings as much as you like, even down to foliage, reflections, visual effects, anti-aliasing, all that sort of stuff. So you can really tune the game and get it running the way you want, and it really does make a difference to the quality of the game as well. So that's been one big focus area as well. But apart from that, I've made lots of gameplay additions and gameplay mechanic changes as well. So we'll dive right in now and we'll have a bit of a look at these, and I'll explain a little bit more about them. So here we are in the demo. This is build number 0.27. So I think in the last devlog I had version number 0.21 or thereabouts. If you haven't checked out any of the devlogs as well, by the way, you'll see them in a playlist on my channel. I'll just put a card up above so that you can get easy access to those devlogs now. There's a Hydro playlist on my channel, so just go ahead and check that out now if you haven't already. Have a look at all the devlogs and you'll understand what this game is all about. There's no time to really explain all of that in this video right now. But one of the big changes I've made just recently as well is changes to the actual river and the water flow as well. So as we're standing here, you'll see that there's a certain amount of water spray and water effects. And as we stand here as well, you can see that those are basically on the shore. But every time you hear like the waves crashing and things like that, the waves and the river flow actually can change, okay? And sometimes that can be a big enough change that you'll see less mist, and that will denote a different amount of water flow, okay? And what that basically means is when you are generating your power, your RPM, your generator RPM will change, and you'll need to account for that in order to keep the generator happy, okay? So I'll get into a little bit more about that shortly. But one thing that we'll have a look at as well while we're out here is a new addition as well. Another new addition here is the local power fuse box, okay? So not only do you have the generator grid fuse now to worry about as before, you've also got these local power fuses as well. So you've got one for the interior lighting, you've got one for the exterior lighting as well. So you can basically just click on these to remove them. If they're blown up, you'll notice that they've got a slightly different texture there. So you can actually remove these, and you can actually put them in your pocket inventory, and you can go and fix them up at the workbench and then bring them back here and then reinstall them basically. And so with those local fuses, they can affect a lot of your different services like your lighting, your accumulator charging as well. Let me just get this tutorial out of the way. This accumulator here, which is your on-site batteries. So if you're charging these batteries, if you charge them a bit faster than normal, it'll wear the fuse out quicker as well. So local fuses is something I've added newly to the game, to the demo. But yes, one of the big changes as well is the RPM, which I was just talking about as well. So this is the RPM stand here in the game, and this is a brand new addition to the game. And this is basically the governor speed control down here, this little lever, or this big lever, okay? So as the generator's running, and I'll just demonstrate that now, you'll notice variances in the RPM of the generator. So when we turn on the generator like this, you'll notice that we've got generator starting as usual and then generator running, but now there's a generator ready light as well, which I've added into this summary board, okay? So basically what happens is when you get generator running, it's not quite ready yet. You need to pass this gate before you can output to the grid or output to the accumulator, okay? So in order to get it ready, you need to get the RPMs into the happy zone. Okay, so that happy zone is this green zone here. And you can hear there that the relay just clicked once we entered the green zone, and that corresponds with this ready light. Okay, so from here you can either charge your accumulators as before, or you can go ahead and connect to the grid. Okay, so when the water changes, you'll see there's quite a bit of water mist out there now. So the water's running pretty fast, so we might even have to reduce the RPM a little bit. What happens here is if the RPMs go into the red, you'll trip out the generator. Okay, so that's another way to actually trip out the generator and make it stop working temporarily. And if you, conversely, if you underspeed the generator and you end up outside of this green zone up here somewhere, then you'll click the relay off, the generator won't be ready anymore, and you'll lose your grid output sync. Or if you're charging your accumulator, that will stop charging as well. Okay, so if I go ahead and just start charging the accumulator like this, whoop, what's that? We're just blowing a fuse, one of our new fuses that I just talked about for the interior lighting. So you can see here that we're charging the accumulator, everything's happy. Alright, let's see if I can just reduce the RPMs. And there we go, you can see that as we are crossing the threshold there, the relay is clicking on and off. Okay, so if you're underspeeding, you're interrupting your power output. Okay, and if you overspeed, like I said, you'll permanently, almost permanently, well, not permanently, but you'll trip out the generator. You'll need to come in and start it up again. Okay, so underspeeding is not as bad as overspeeding. If you do overspeed, basically that's the opposite end of the spectrum. And I've made some changes to the flashlight too, by the way, so that works a lot better now. And actually it looks like a flashlight and acts like a flashlight and quacks like a flashlight. So you can see here we're increasing the generator RPM out to the extreme end, and you can hear the buzzer now saying that, well, we are overspeeding the generator, and if we go into the red, there you go, we've actually just clicked off the generator. Okay, so that is a new mechanic which I've just put into the game as of like only about a week ago or so, and that's currently in playtesting as well, but I'm pretty happy with the way that it's working, I must say. Every time the waves change outside and you hear that ocean or that wave sound crashing, that waves crashing sound, you'll know that you've got to come here and just keep an eye on your RPM. So it's not just a set and forget kind of thing anymore. It really makes the player kind of focus a bit more on generating power and being a little bit more engaged with the whole process. Okay, so we can see here the waves have actually slowed right down and we've just lost our generation, and it's just flipped on, flipped off. You can see that green light in the background is the relay is just clicking on and off because we're entering and exiting the green zone. So we need to increase the RPM on the governor control here a little bit, just to get our RPMs into the green zone a little bit more, but not too far because we don't want to overspeed the generator either. So this is all dependent on the river speed outside. So you kind of have to keep looking out the window and you got to see what the waves are doing. Okay, you can't just like be in your own little world in here in the power station. You got to kind of keep your wits about you, watch the river, watch the water spray, and that will help dictate just how you can basically operate the machinery inside the power station. Okay, just quickly as well, as a result of playtest feedback, I've implemented this interact dot now. So everything is based off this interact dot more or less, rather than the old style bounding box interactions which were not very precise at all. And so here's the fuse repair workbench where we can actually repair the fuse that we've got in our inventory at the moment. This is fuse number 1. So by coming to this fuse repair workbench, we can repair the fuses as much as we like, and it doesn't cost us anything. But it is a new gameplay mechanic, which means that you'll have to basically go away from the power station every now and again to actually repair fuses and then go back and so on and so forth. So it kind of keeps you on your toes a little bit, and you can see here that the fuse did blow from before for the light switch, but if we go ahead and just put this repaired fuse back in, so you'll see the lights have gone back on. We've got nice bright lighting once again. Okay, So we've talked about the fuses. There's also a new model here for the generator temperature. So now, for example, as your generator increases temperature, you can actually back off some of your charging rates to bring the temperatures to some level of stability. For example, here I'm dropping the rheostat down so that I'm not charging the accumulator as hard as I was just now. And you'll notice that the temperatures have started to plateau somewhat. This also applies for grid power generation as well, where syncing at lower levels of hertz, lower frequencies that is, will result in slower and plateauing of the generator temperature rather than just an endless increase of temperature. I've also made an enhancement to the Township Demands gameplay mechanic. Each Township Demand now has a prestige rating attached to it, either high or low prestige. This ties in with the reputation system, where if the player has a reputation of below a certain value, they will no longer receive high prestige Township Demands. Reputation can be affected by things such as noise complaints and failing to complete Township Demands. This effectively means that the player's actions throughout the Hydro world will actually affect their reputation and cause the township to give them less prestigious Township Demands, which will mean that the player will need to work harder in order to generate the required funding levels to keep the power station viable. The good news is, you as the player are able to positively affect your reputation rating by completing your Township Demands and ensuring that you don't cause any further noise complaints. I'm confident that these changes combined will help make the gameplay experience of Hydro a lot more engaging and realistic at the same time, and hopefully fun. One last thing that I just wanted to quickly show was the addition of this new sponge bucket and the ability to now clean items around the power station, such as windows that might get dirty. Sometimes the windows might need more than one pass to get them nice and clean. And the requirement to have the sponge bucket before you can actually clean the generator air filter that's outside. The generator air filter controls the amount of cooling that the generator receives, so keeping the air filter clean is a must. There are also other hidden Easter eggs where you can use the bucket and sponge on as well. Thanks so much for watching, folks. I just wanted to make this a bit of a quick video if I could, just to showcase some of the latest additions to the game and latest gameplay mechanics as well. Like I said, the focus has been on performance as well, and I want everyone within a reasonable range of hardware specification to be able to enjoy this game and not miss out. So hopefully these changes to optimization and performance will improve everything across the board when playing the demo. Stay tuned for more videos in the future, and please rest assured I am just as keen as you are to get the demo into your hands. So I'm doing everything I can right now to work towards public demo release ASAP. Please continue to stay tuned, and please like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already to my channel to stay abreast of more updates as they become available. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.